And then, of course, the injuries happen. Engvall went into the boards really weird, but he finished the game. Morgan Rielly finished the game, but gone for 8 weeks. So this is the point that we're going to talk about quite a bit today. And so the defensive pairings, as we understand them, Dermott and Hall, Marincin and Barry, Rasmus Sandin and Ceci. It's a little thin.
Oh, yeah. And, Muzzin's out, and Rielly, you're losing your best defenseman. And, the question always becomes, how do you replace Morgan Rielly? You don't.
That's right.
It's impossible. And the minutes he carries, who he carries them against, the situations in the game that he carries them with. So what you're trying to do now as a coach is you're trying to put players in positions that they can manage. And understanding that without Morgan Rielly, it's going to be a different look for everybody. Your forwards are going to have to play a little bit differently. Other players on the blue line might have to play more minutes. They're going to have to manage those minutes differently. But this stretches your defense in a significant way. And if you're going to continue to turn to your goaltender and keep giving up odd man rushes and prime scoring chances, I would suggest that it's not a recipe for success.
Well, this is a total recast on that blue line, and so it's not going to present itself as it did because you're without Rielly and Muzzin. So how do you see this reconfiguration? And again, understanding that the forwards have to be much more responsible as well. But in terms of, like, when you have these 6 guys and you're minus these 2A players, how do you make that work?
Well, here's what I would say, Jim, is I think there's a real onus here on Sheldon Keefe and the coaching staff. Like, we know what the players are. And in a lot of cases, we know what they aren't, which is just as important.
Well, you have to know that.
Well, you really do. Yep. So I think for Sheldon and the coaching staff, it's understand. So he's worked with the team. He's trying to say, hey, here's the way we want to play. He has to make a really significant adjustment to the way they play. And he said it would take some time to get things natural. We saw that at the outset with this team. They won the first few games and they ran into some challenges, and then they found their way, and it was really significant. Well, now they're going to have to find their way in a different way. That's coaching now. This is a different type of coaching now. This is what I call, I don't want to, it's crisis coaching. I'm going to use the term. It's crisis coaching. That's what it is. Yeah. And so now you have to mitigate against the risk that having lesser players in the lineup are going to pose. And that's mitigate risk for your goaltender, mitigate risk for your team, and try to adjust it. So, I don't think you can look at the defense pairings and say this is how it's going to be. I think he's going to have to rotate. He's going to have to figure out, who's going to play the significant minutes, how he's going to come out of a penalty kill, how he's going to come out of a power play, how he's going to set up a power play. When you have Morgan Rielly, who you just go 44, okay, he goes out there at every situation. You got Muzzin to go out there. Those are 2 significant players. So managing the ice time, managing the rotation, understanding, where you don't want to get caught is going to be really significant for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that's where, a real test for Sheldon and the coaching staff comes at this point in time.
And the plus for the coach is he knows these guys. He's coached them before. Certainly Sandin.
He does, yeah.
He's had Marley experience with them, so he knows them.
And that's significant, like understanding, how a player will respond to a different situation, to a different challenge. And so he's had Marincin, he's had Hall, he's had Sandin, he's had Liljegren, who got called up as well. Right. So, these are players that he's had. And, you look at Tyson Barrie, you consider, what he's going to be asked to do. He's going to be asked to be, he was the number 1 defenseman in Colorado, the lead dog, so to speak, for a lot of years. Well, they're going to have to lean on him a lot more to be that lead player for the Leafs.